one you want to be then? Either you're living or dead. You want to be ministers of life or ministers of death? I'm asking you, do you want to be, how many of you would like to be ministers of life? Raise your right hand. Okay, ministers of life. Okay, all of you would like to do that. You just didn't understand what I was saying before, but that's why I wanted to repeat it to you. Dr. Donald Douglas Tory will come before you right now, who is the health guru to over 73 stars and celebrities from around the world, some of which are Diane Carroll, Della Reese, Roberta Flack, In Vogue, Johnny Gill. Anybody heard of him before? Yeah. Johnny Gill. How about Wesley Snipes? Wesley Snipes, Herbie Hancock, Wayne Shorter, and thousands of others like yourself that are part of the Family Health Reformation. So at this time, why don't you do me a favor? And we have Channel 8 here, and also another channel here is taking pictures, the other TV camera here. So you're going to be live on TV next week. This particular broadcast will be shown on Channel 8. So make sure you put on your right face, smile, keep a good attitude, because you may look up one day and all your friends will be seeing you on TV. So keep your minds open and get ready to receive. Give us a warm round of welcome to the health guru, to all the stars and celebrities around the world, Dr. Donald Douglas Tory.
Father in heaven, we thank thee for the blessings of life. Give us the understanding of tissue cleansing, the shower, and the bath within. Our lives hang on a brittle thread, that of a spider web. We ask this in the name of thy dear Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Cramps. PMS. Hot flashes during menopause. Cold sweats. Fibroid tumors. Cysts are all unnatural. No woman should suffer from PMS. No woman should suffer from fibroid tumors. It's an epidemic in the black communities around. No woman should suffer from menstrual cramps. And you don't have to. Stevie Wonder, lovely girlfriend Kimberly, had to frequent the hospital every month because of menstrual cramps. I saw my sisters. I grew up with 4 sisters, a dominant mother and a passive father. I was right sandwiched between. Suffer from menstrual cramps, lying on the floor every month. So I decided to put much of my attention. In 1967, I developed my Ladies' Comfort. No woman ever again has to suffer from menstrual cramps or PMS. It is unnatural. We accept certain situations of the body as being natural. These situations are natural. They do not belong as a part of our lifestyle. Accepting them is insane. I touched upon it a bit on my last lecture. The climates of the body. The body has climates like there's weather. Pardon me, there's a hum that I'm hearing. Get the owner to see what that hum is, please. Let's turn it off. There's a hum. Please get the owner to take care of the hum.
Excuse me, Dr. Tory, can you take off your shades, please?
I would suggest that you sit and be quiet.
Thank you.
I wear my glasses because I lecture with my eyes closed. If they disturb you, put some glasses on yourself. I'm not being arrogant, my lovely lady. But you don't want to see me lecturing like this, do you? I'm not trying to be cool. I lecture with my eyes closed. It's the message we want to hear. Menstrual cramps. It's horrible to see women suffering from these situations. I can't tell you how many murders are committed in America because of PMS. And husbands should know more about when the cycle comes around than the woman. The woman's sick, and you forget. And what do? You retaliate on this woman. You're not going to go in the hospital and beat up on a sick woman. Your wife is actually sick then. The first climatic change is coming far too early. What is that? The first climate of the body. Early spring. The spring of the body is coming, I've heard in St. Croix, at 11. In America, it's probably around the same thing, 11 to 13. The menstrual cycle should not start until 18. And women bring me all the time their kid. Her menstrual cycle hasn't started. She's 16 years old. I said, my good, be happy, because it means she won't go through change of life until 60 or 65. That's when you should go through change of life, between 60 and 65. My lecture today is for the lovely ladies of these beautiful ladies of St. Croix, some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. And you think I say that to everybody, don't you? Oh, no. I don't say it to everybody. On this island are some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. But they're all swollen with garbage. The waste of the body has stolen your looks. But I don't see you all swollen out. I don't see it. I see you the way you used to look. And you're beautiful. And I'm here to bring you back home. We're putting a health clinic to bring you back home so that you can look like you looked when you graduated from high school or college. The first climate of the body should start between 17 and 18, when you should go through change, when you should start menstruation. But the body has to open up this channel of elimination, this monthly cleansing of the incubator early to accommodate the waste, the McDonald's, the Colonel Parkers, the Baby Ruths, the diet sodas that the kid is eating. They brought me a kid, as I told you last lecture, 7 years old. Menstrual cycle started. I asked the mother, she's big and fat. What are you feeding the kid? Well, we give her McDonald's because it's so nutritious. I say, stop her from eating McDonald's and start feeding her life. And the menstrual cycle stopped and came back, I think, when she was about 15. This is the early spring of life, ladies. The most important thing that a lady possesses is the menstrual cycle. Diane Carroll, I don't want no menstrual cycle. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of that thing. I don't want it. It's Diane. That's what keeps you beautiful, the menstrual cycle. The monthly cleansing of the incubator. And if it stops coming out of the body, it's still going on full-blown inside the body, poisoning everything and drying up the 350 hormones that women possess. Women possess 350 hormones, the juice of the body. Men only 150. All you hear about is estrogen and progesterone. Women possess 350 hormones. When the menstrual cycle stops, maybe at 50, if it stops at 50, it's stopping much earlier, but it doesn't stop just like a clock like there. It takes maybe 20 years for it to stop. Maybe at 29 or 39, you have 4 days of it. And then 45, you have 3 days of it. It just kind of fades out. Why? Because the garbage is blocking the fallopian tubes, giving you unfulfilled menstrual cycles. What is an unfulfilled menstrual cycle? It means that the menstrual cycle is not fully evacuating the body. Sometimes 50% comes out, sometimes 50% stays in. Sometimes 80% comes out, sometimes 20% stays in. And then it comes out black. If it comes out black, it's been there too long. It should be bright red. Comes out clots, it's been there too long. Then you're taking that pill, tricking the body into thinking it's pregnant, and the uterus lining builds up, giving you endometriosis. That's what causes it. The menstrual cycle should not stop until you are between 60 and 65, and it does not stop. The menstrual cycle is controlled by the brain. The hypothalamus and the pituitary gland control the menstrual cycle. The hypothalamus and the pituitary gland control the menstrual cycle. And that is not shut off until you are between 60 and 65. The menstrual cycle continues to go on inside your body. When it stops coming out at 50, at 45, it still goes on inside the body, drying up everything it comes in contact with, drying up the 350 hormones of the body, the juices of your body. That's why they say the vagina gets dry when you go through change of life. And they give you estrogen therapy? No, my dear. The heart dries up, the brain dries up, everything dries up. You dry up like an old prune. Yes. The juices of the body are dried up by the menstrual cycle, going on full-blown inside your body. The waste that should be coming out cannot get out, so it comes and stays in the body, circulating around the system. You can bring me 10 women who've had hysterectomies and line them right up here. And I will tell you, each one of them, that they're still having, they'll tell you themselves they're still having their menstrual cycle. I can make them admit to you that they're still having their menstrual cycles. The waste that falls below the uterus, the unfulfilled part that does not come out of the body, falls below the uterus, and gravity pulls it where? Into the hips and buttocks area. Waste from the menstrual cycle, you call it what? You call it cellulite. Cellulite is waste from the menstrual cycle. That's what it is. Did you know that? Oh, you all know that, right? Cellulite is waste from the menstrual cycle. I'm talking for the lovely lady. I want to keep you more beautiful. I'm going to tell you how to stay beautiful. Protect the menstrual cycle with every breath of your life. The longer you keep it, listen, I can go around the world. I'll go to a, if I'm at a party or something, I'll see a woman, she's about maybe 60 years old. She is drinking, she is smoking, she's doing everything wrong. And I'll just go up and talk to her from my own little laboratory. And I'll say to her, when I get to know her a little better, I said, ma'am, you're very beautiful, but how do you take care of yourself? I don't take care of myself. I smoke, I drink, everything. And I say to her, do you, by any chance, do you still have your menstrual cycle? She says, of course. And she's 60 years old. Doesn't everybody? That's why she can stay beautiful, because she's still having the monthly cleansing of the incubator. And that's how she stays beautiful. My lady's comfort will keep that menstrual cycle happening. Diane Carroll's went away. I put her on 17 tablets 3 times a day. We brought it back. If it's gone within 2 years, we can bring it back. And that's what keeps you lovely and beautiful. The waste from the menstrual cycle, the unfulfilled menstrual cycle, falls below the uterus into the hips and buttocks area. You call it cellulite. That's why no man has cellulite, because he doesn't have a menstrual cycle. But the bloodstream will pick it up and put it on the back of your back. The body is constantly looking for a place to store garbage. Why are the fallopian tubes blocking up, giving you unfulfilled menstrual cycles, and putting you in prematurely into the change of life? Let's back up a minute. We talked about the spring of life. This is for the men also. The spring of life, which early spring is the beginning of the menstrual cycle, which is now starting at about 12 or 13, I don't know, something like that. Then, high spring of life is when you begin to die now. You begin to die at 24 and a half. That's when the cells stop multiplying as fast and you stop eliminating them as fast. So actually, you call it when you grow up. And now you're going downhill. It takes longer to die than it does to grow up. You might make it to 10. You might have 60 years in front of you. But still, now you are dying a slow death because you're getting older at 24 and a half. When I grew up in the 30s and 40s, nobody began to die until they were 29. But all of the climates of the body are backing down and backing up. I don't know. It looks like they're going to back up to 1 year old pretty soon. They're all backing down and shortening the life. They say you're living longer. I don't see it nowhere. So, then, when you begin the high spring of life at 24 and a half, because all the climates of the body, summer, autumn, and winter, are moving down now. Down, 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 as the menstrual cycle starts at 11, the ovarian life cycle, which is just now 30 years, moves down, down, down. Now it's at 11. Pretty soon, like some countries in South America, it'll be below 10. When the menstrual cycle starts, if it starts down there, it means you're going to go through change of life in your late 30s. And many of you are doing that. When the body comes down, it shuts down the menstrual cycle because the waste is clogging up the whole mechanism, the white flour, the McDonald's, the Colonel Parkers. The next change of life, 35. Everything begins to cave in then. Everything. Because the parents haven't given you anything to build anything on. So now everything begins to happen. The fibroid tumors, the cysts, the cancer of the breast at 35, a very crucial hurdle for the body. I said hurdle. Before you had youth to help you, but now it is a hurdle. Rushing through the changes of the body, the climates of the body, the climactic climates of the body. The next one now is premature, is almost jamming high summer. 35 is the high summer of the body. The high summer, well, between 35 and 38, maybe between 34, 33, and 38. But the high summer of the body is then. The high summer of the body should not start, should be around 55 or 60. But it's down to 35. So then, the next season, the change of life, which is jamming the high summer, comes around 45, when the cessation of the menstrual cycle. This is early autumn. Then death. The next season, women in America are living till approximately 72. The insurance companies say they don't even have a late autumn. They're in winter now. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If you fortify that body with life, put life in the body, put the strength of the earth back into the body, you can make it past the last hurdle of the body. And I fought like mad to bring my mother past 87.
Who do you ever know makes it past 87? You'll make it to 86. You might touch 87, but you're not going to make it past 87. Very few people do. Check the news out of all the famous people that died. 81, 83, 84, 85, 86, but there's no 87. Because that's the last change of the body. If you can make it past 87, you can float right over into 120. But very few people make it past there. Very few. That's the problem.
So those are the climatic changes of the body. Now for those of you who are new. Now I'm ready to take my glasses off, and the young lady got her feelings hurt and left. Or maybe she went to get her glasses. I'll take them off now. I'll try to keep my eyes open. Didn't mean to hurt her feelings. So, let's back up again and talk about the principles of the family health reformation. These principles you should carry throughout your life. How many of you here lost the last lecture? How many? Nobody? Oh, these are all new people? What? How many of you hear the last lecture? You got a lot of new. How many are new here now? Oh, okay. I might sound like a broken record, but I'll have to go back over these principles of the family health reformation. There's only one disease in the whole wide world. Simple. I'm not trying to be a sensationalist, but this is true. There's always only been one disease. There are 1,400 names for one disease. The disease center in Atlanta says that there are 1,400 diseases that plague mankind. I beg to differ. There's only one disease in the whole world. This disease is the accumulation of garbage in your body. We rename the accumulation of waste when it affects an organ adversely. When it clogs up the veins and arteries, they give you a triple bypass, but it's waste in the veins and arteries from all the fat, from the beef, from the hogs, from whatever. As I told the people last in the last lecture, the average person in America eats something like 60 pigs in his lifetime. He eats up a whole farm. The average person in America eats something like 45 cows in his lifetime. Oh, you think I'm joking? I'm not joking. The average American eats something like 80 pigs in his lifetime. He eats a farm in his lifetime. And the average black in America eats something like 300 chickens. Oh, you like them chickens, don't you? Well, you've eaten 300 in your lifetime. And that's why you're all blown out. That's why you look nothing like the yearbook picture when you graduated from college. None of you do. You know what you look like, don't you? You remember? You remember them pretty legs your husband looked at? Oh, honey, you sure got some pretty legs. The tiny waistline. You remember? Oh, you don't remember, do you? You don't remember, do you? Everybody's quiet.
It's true.
You don't remember. Oh, you're supposed to get fatter and fatter and collect the garbage the older you get. Is that it? You're supposed to get your big cheeks the older you get. Is that true? Oh, your thighs are supposed to be spread out as big as your waist. You're supposed to have 2 stomachs and 4 chins. You're supposed to do that, right? Well, why have you let yourself go? Because you're traveling down the avenue of the taste buds instead of traveling down the road of prevention. The road of prevention. Doctors treat you when? After you get sick, don't they? They don't treat you before you get sick. I treat you before you get sick so that you don't get sick. I teach you prevention. Do you wait till your car runs out of gas before you put gas in it? Oh, yes, you do, huh? Oh, you wait till it runs out of gas when you're running the car on the fumes. And that's the same way you're doing your body.
running it on the fumes. But my dear ladies and gentlemen, you are waiting for an impending conflict, a disaster beyond your wildest dreams. A nightmare waits for you. And blacks have the poorest health all over the world than any other ethnic group. You lead in every disease known to man. From heart problems, the dialysis machine was made for you. I'm not joking. You got more heart problems than anybody. You got more rheumatism than anybody, arthritis than anybody. Why? You want me to tell you why? Because you can make that food taste so good. Boy, you can make that food. Boy, I'm telling you. I had a meal here the other day. Man, y'all can make that food taste so good. Just rice. Ain't nobody can cook like no black people. I don't care where they are. They can be in Africa anywhere. We know how to season that garbage, don't we? And I can never understand why you got to doctor up that meat. Why don't you eat it like it is? But you just doctor it up and putting all kinds of seasoning in it because you don't like the way it tastes, the way it is. Dear friends, when you eat meat, all you're doing is eating worms. Simple. And you don't even think about it. As I told my last lecture before, I can put a table up here with a pork chop, with a piece of beef, turkey, and chicken, and pour some alcohol on each of I lecture and let it thaw out, and pour some alcohol, and you see them worms crawling out on the table. Try it at home sometimes. The animal kingdom is infested with worms. And if the animal kingdom is sicker than you are, you know you're infested with them too. And the problem is the worms got to go to the toilet. And their waste is deadly. And the body capsulizes their waste and sews a tiny cocoon around it. Weaves a tiny cocoon around the waste from the worm kingdom in the body. All kinds of worms, flat worms, round worms, spiral worms. Worms 70 feet long locked up in you. In the fish, they grow that long. And they grow as long as you are. And their waste is dead. And the body capsulizes it and sews a fine film around it within seconds. You call it a tumor. A tumor is a capsule of waste that the body sews to protect itself. The same as a tree burrows to protect itself from the disease that comes from without. The body's burrow is called a tumor. The tumor is your friend and ally and can keep you living year after year after year with a tumor. The doctor goes in and cuts the tumor out, dealing with the symptom, and the waste will come right back and make another tumor. You've got to get rid of the waste. And the tumor, you will see the skin. When you get rid of the tumor with nature's cleanser, you can see the skin from the tumor in the toilet stool if you look at the right time. The tumor in your brain will drain to the toilet stool if you open up the bottom. But the bottom is clogged up with chicken wings and rib tips and barbecue. And the white flour, the main culprit. Everything you cook with is white flour. Glue, used to hang wallpaper. That's all white flour is. You lived on white bread for 6 months, you would die. One disease in the whole wide world. When the waste of the body burns through the skin, you call it rashes or eczema, some kind of name. I don't even pronounce the names. We have so many names now that we give the waste of the body.
We have so many names we give the worm kingdom in the body. When it takes over the motor center of the brain, we call ourselves epileptics, and that we're having some type of seizures or something. It's just the worms. It's a worm disorder. Prostate problems in men is a worm disorder. That's why doctors can't ever treat it, because they're not treating the worms. It's a worm disorder. Prostate problems. The prostate is something like the breast in women. Once a woman gets a cancer of the breast, as soon as you cut on her, what happens? It spreads. You shouldn't cut on her, because when you cut on her, you're tampering with what? The immune system. You can't cut on nobody. The body don't even want needles put into it. When you puncture the body with a needle, you're bypassing the immune system. And the garbage goes straight to the heart without being filtered through the liver and the kidneys. Many people die from shots. The immunization shots also. The live disease pumped into kids. Those kids can't take no shots pumped into them like that. You're bypassing the immune system when you do that. As soon as you cut on a person, the disease spreads. Because you're bypassing the immune system. The immune system is the tonsils. The forefront of the immune system is the tonsils, and the lower tonsils are what? That's right. Who said that? Yeah. Come in. How do you know that?
Because
come over and talk.
Because I've been a vegetarian for the past 14 years, and I've studied herbs. I've done a lot of research. I've been able to control a fibroid, and I raised my 5 kids, ages 31 to 21, and I have 5 grandkids, and I'm presently using Dr. Tory's herbs, and they work.
Look at that body. Does she have how many kids you got?
5 grown kids.
Look at that body. Look at that. The tonsils, the appendix are the lower tonsils. They look like them even. The appendix catches the disease that comes from the bottom to the rectum. There's a whole lot of disease down there because your colons are cesspools, eliminating once a day. Cesspools. And there are all kind of worms in there. And plus, dead you. You are to eliminate 24 billion dead cells a day. You ain't living a billion a week. Half the stuff locked up in you is dead cells and dead tissue. That's why you smell so bad. Worms, the Bacillus coli reigns in the colon. That's the deadly bacteria. The Lactobacillus acidophilus, the Lactobacillus bifidus should reign there, the unfriendly bacteria. But the death coli reigns in your colon. The appendix are cut out, that marvelous unit. Somebody, they're going to do a heart surgery. Say, well, while we're here, we might as well cut out the appendix. There's no use for them anyway. The tonsils catch the disease that comes to the aperture of the mouth. They cut out both of them. That's the first front of the immune system. The next front is the lymph nodes. They're supposed to swell up and catch garbage. That's their job, to swell up. As soon as they swell up, somebody's going to cut them out. They're supposed to swell up until you do something about getting rid of the garbage in the body. The waste of the body is your problem. You have become living garbage cans and living garbage pails. Washing off the outside of the garbage can with SOS pads and with soaps that have all kinds of perfumes in them. What is it going to do if you wash off the outside of the garbage pan? What good is that going to do for the garbage inside? That's what you do with the shower. Washing off the outside of a living garbage can. The shower don't mean nothing. You might as well go out there on that beach and take some of that fine, fantastic sand you got like the Arabs do and take a shower with the sand. You have a better shower.
Or the East Indians with a dry brush, the best shower in the world. The shower ain't doing nothing for your inner body. You're not even dealing with the tip of the iceberg. The garbage is trapped inside of you. And if you're 1 pound overweight, you're 1 pound overweight. There is nobody overweight. There's never existed a person in the whole of this planet Earth that has been overweight. It has never existed. It is a symptom of the waste that weighs within you. You are overweight. Garbage, drug residues, toxins, chemicals. The average American walks around with 70 pounds of garbage in his body. The average American walks around with 25 pounds of fecal matter trapped in the small intestines and colon. The average American walks around with 25 pounds of mucus trapped in his body, and 3 to 4 pounds of it in the head area. The mucus is leaking down into the jawbone, rotting the teeth away from the bone. You call it pyorrhea. The mucus is coming out of the head. You call it dandruff. Ain't no head and shoulders going to help no dandruff. It's mucus coming from within. People with horrible sinuses have dandruff. It's mucus coming out of the head. The waste is burning through the skin. Rashes. Cortisones. Get off that crap. No cortisone's going to help you. You've got to inner cleanse the garbage can. That's what you have to do. Stop using the SOS pads on the outside and start the process of taking God's shower and bath within. And ladies and gentlemen, it is God's shower and bath within. All through the Bible, God has told you what to do. And you, as Christians, or whatever you are, have looked over the most important text in the Bible. The herb shall be for the cleansing of the people. In Revelation, the leaf shall be for the healing of the nations. In the New Jerusalem, in eternity, the leaf. We're talking about something you eat. We're talking about a leaf. We're talking about herbs. If we're talking about herbs, we're talking about inward cleansing, the shower and bath within. What do you know about a shower within? You've never taken one. The art of tissue cleansing has come nowhere. What do you know about a shower and bath within? Do you know anything about it? Have you ever thought about it? No. And the organs are so polluted, they're barely keeping you alive, and you keep piling more and more junk on them, day in and day out, giving the body nothing that it can do something with. Putting the strength of the earth back into the body you're not doing. In Genesis 1:29, it tells you exactly how to take the shower and the bath and how to rebuild the body. Adam and Eve. Every green herb and fruit-bearing tree, every seed shall be meat for you to eat. The term meat, the semantics of that term, has dwindled down to something must die for you to live. Living on the blood of dead animals, it is the blood that has you hooked. The blood is addictive, and that is what has you hooked, the blood. Take the blood out, you wouldn't even eat meat. Take the blood out of the meat, you wouldn't even touch it. It wouldn't even taste good to you. It's the blood you want. Take a cheesecloth and wring the blood out of a big old juicy steak and drinking 2 glasses of blood. And the Satanists do that. And they say it is addictive and exhilarating. The blood got you. The sugar's got you too. But the blood's got you. It's the blood you want. That's the blood the animal wants. The lion, as soon as he has a prey, the animal's still standing. He can't wait to get to the blood, so he'd make some scratches on the side to lick the blood. And it's the blood that's got the lion. But the lion only lives 8 to 10 years because he's eating death. But he's smart enough to know to go to the belly to eat the grass that the animal's just eaten grazing in the field. The lion, the hippopotamus, the giraffe, the rhinoceros, the elephant, can live 200 years because they're eating life all day long. Raw nuts, grains, seeds, sprouts, fruits, vegetables, leaves, bark, grass, and flowers and buds. A lion can only live 8 to 10 years. That lion that can roar and make the floor of the jungle shake like an earthquake only lives 8 to 10 years because he's eating death and worms and lives with a constant toothache. That's why his disposition is so bad. Lions can be a man's best friend, but it's the blood that has them. It's the blood. Oh, I was talking to Wesley Snipes. He was on my program, and Wesley said to me, when I want to play a real mean role, I just go and eat me some steaks for about 2 months. I get mean. It affects the disposition.